Hey everyone, welcome to the show. So, the investor who predicted the 2008 stock market and real estate crash, he has a very dire warning for everyone. So, I'm going to get into the details in a minute, and I'm also going to share how Donald Trump plans to hide his economic failures from the public and how we're already, in my opinion, entering the Trump session. So, here's the deal. Even if you didn't see the movie The Big Short, you may have heard about an investor. His name is Danny Moses. He made a fortune because he accurately predicted the Great Recession. That was the Great Recession of 2008. You know, you may not know, global markets collapsed. I'm sure most of you lived through it. Countries almost went bankrupt. Mortgage companies imploded. Mine was one of them. The housing market went into a free fall. It was terrifying. It was an absolutely terrifying time to be alive. Um, People were just trying to keep their head above water, keep a roof over their heads, literally. Well, Moses was just interviewed on CNBC, and he said that what Trump and Musk are doing is beyond dangerous. And Moses warned that the financial markets are totally underestimating the damage being done by these Doge cuts. And he said how wide reaching the consequences could be. So take a look.
So I take it you're bearish on the market overall. Is that like a long-term or a philosophical statement or just a short-term tactical thing?
Tactical, I think, is the best way to put it. I think we are underestimating the impact to the economy of the cuts we're making at the federal government and what that might mean, the knock-on effects into the economy. So I think we're hurting the revenue side of the equation. When your debt to GDP is over 120%, you really can't make a mistake. So I think we are being overly optimistic on how this is going to play out. So I think we're going to start to hear when first quarter earnings are reported that there is a market slowdown potentially and a hit to consumer confidence, which you've already seen, which I don't think is priced into the markets.
So Moses also spoke with Fortune news outlet, and he told them, quote, "It's not as simple as just, we think there's fraud, let's cut waste, let's cut expenses. And it's not just about the federal workers, and it's not just about the expenses out of those programs. It's about the contracts with the private sector." So, yeah, this is what MAGA does not understand. They are so happy not sending money and not sending food or, other supplies to countries with Black and brown people who they hate. They're clueless about the fact that this funding, it not only does it pay for necessary programs and services and goods that helped people in this country, in our own country and around the world, it also created jobs in the United States. The farmer that grew crops that were then sent to food banks is now losing money. Now that farmer has less income. He's not spending as much online. He's not spending as much in local stores. Then those companies have less revenue coming in. And then they either need to cut jobs or shut down completely. And the owners are spending less of their own money on things used to, that they normally buy, whether it be for the company or personally. And there's this massive ripple effect. There's this reverberation felt throughout the country, and then it spreads around the world. And that's what so many people don't get. And then when you add on top of that, the tariffs or the, on again, off again tariffs, this is a recipe for disaster because businesses do not know if they should make purchases, if they should jack up prices. Are they going to have to make cuts in the coming months? Are they going to have to let go of employees? And we are already seeing this. Large companies are already responding to this in a negative way. So there was this article in the Star Tribune, and they said that Cleveland Cliffs is the largest iron ore company in the not in the United States, in the state of Minnesota. They just announced last Thursday they're laying off 630 workers because of Trump's steel tariffs, because they are already, even though they haven't gone into effect, they're already slowing down the auto industry. So people don't even realize how many different industries are affected by one simple tariff. And these layoffs are going to go into effect in 60 days. And they said, we don't know if this is going to be permanent. We don't have an end date. And this is far from the only company that's scaling back. This is also not the only company that's warning of a slowdown. So Lennar Homes is a huge home builder in the United States. Some of you have probably heard of it. Some of you may even live in one of their homes. In an earnings call on Friday of last week, their chief executive warned that high prices, high interest rates, and an increased uncertainty around employment is decreasing the demand for new homes. He told his shareholders, quote, consumers have been generally confident that they will remain employed and that their compensation is safe. But more recently, even that safety has been called into question. So the company said, so far, they haven't experienced an increase in costs due to tariffs or because of the deportations and, lack of labor. But they said it's something that they're keeping an eye on, and they're cutting back. They're cutting back on building. So obviously, if home builders slow down, that will affect all of the trade workers and all of the companies that provide labor and supplies. We're talking about steel and lumber manufacturers, concrete companies, people who work on the homes, the roofers, electricians, plumbers, drywallers, you name it. The list goes on and on. And then also, you're talking about it affecting a different industry. You're talking about it now affecting the real estate industry. It affects title and escrow companies. And when they're building fewer homes, prices are either going to remain stagnant or they're going to increase because of a lack of supply. So, unless you have a huge downturn in demand, the prices are going to get worse, not better. So rather than expanding job markets, Trump is shrinking job markets. Rather than increasing the supply of homes and bringing down the costs, he is decreasing the supply of homes. He is increasing the costs. And all of this is coming at a time, as we know, that Trump and Musk are flooding the job market with highly qualified former government employees because of the thousands of people that they're firing, tens of thousands of people. Yeah. But guys, Trump has a plan. Yeah. Not to make everything better. He has a plan to hide the damage that he's doing. So also on Friday last week, Politico reported this, that Trump and his administration, they dismissed unpaid advisors who provide stats and other crucial economic information to the Labor Department. They wrote, quote, the Trump administration has dismissed advisors to key statistical agencies behind major economic reports, sparking warnings that the cuts will jeopardize the quality of data critical to policymakers and Wall Street investors. Economists, academics, and corporate officials serving on a board of unpaid advisors to the Labor Department's Statistical Bureau were told this week they were no longer needed. Again, these are unpaid people. So this isn't about cutting waste, fraud, and abuse. These people weren't making a penny. They weren't let go because they were, zapping the federal budget, because they were, draining public resources. This was about hiding their incompetence from the public. And Politico said that Trump also dismissed advisors to the Commerce Department's Bureau of Economic Analysis, the Census Bureau, and the Federal Housing Finance Authority. The article said, quote, The abrupt removal of experts supporting monthly reports that are closely watched by everyone from the Federal Reserve to business leaders is a sign of trouble ahead for agencies responsible for providing vital measurements of inflation, unemployment, productivity, and growth, economists and former agency officials said. So that is what they're doing. They are destroying the economy. They are making things less affordable. They're driving up costs while not decreasing, demand for food, but decreasing, hopefully decrease, or they're, maybe decreasing demand for homes because the prices are going to go so high, decreasing the amount of homes on the market. I mean, they're doing everything the wrong way. And then they don't want you to know about it. They don't want you to know how bad it is. They're hoping nobody notices that, oh, my groceries are going up, homes are going up, I don't have a job anymore. Maybe it's just me, right? Here's the silver lining. It's not a good one. I will admit it is not a good one, but this is the only one we have. Trump and Musk may screw up the economy so bad that the Republican Party finds itself in the wilderness out of power for decades to come. Like I said, guys, it's not a good silver lining. It means a lot of pain. A lot of people are going to be hurt. A lot of people are going to suffer. That is it. That's the only thing that might come out of it, that might be, in future years, might help our country. Yeah. But he has his people convinced that this is the most transparent presidency, the most transparent administration ever. But he's firing free labor. He's firing people who keep track of all of this stuff for us, and economists and the market and our Fed even, who weren't making a dime. We're not draining the system whatsoever, just to hide it from you. Okay. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching and listening. Please like this video. Please share it with everyone you know, because people really need to understand what exactly is going on here and how dangerous this is. Please become a subscriber if you have not. If you can donate, truly appreciate it. It really helps to keep the show going. Love you all. Take care. Talk with you soon.